They said my boat was an eyesore, that it broke every rule their shiny new HOA could dream up. But what they didn't know, what they never bothered to check, was that I owned the whole damn lake their million-dollar dreams floated on. You ever watch someone try to bully the landlord, thinking you're just another old guy with a rusty boat? Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec, paint you a picture. My name's Garrett Stone. I'm 52, retired marine engineer, lost my wife Sarah to cancer 3 years ago. And if there's one thing this world taught me, it's that sometimes grief drives you to defend the last thing you love with everything you've got, even when the whole town turns against you. The morning it started, I was sitting on my dock, coffee in hand, mist rolling over Crystal Lake, just breathing in what peace I had left. That's when I heard the sharp click of heels, like gunshots on old wood, and this lady, Veronica Hartwell, stomps down the dock in a suit too expensive for small-town Oregon, perfume already announcing her arrival before her voice does. She throws a letter at me, certified, of course, telling me I've got 72 hours to move my 30-foot Catalina or pay $500 a day in fines, waving toward the row of new McMansions like she built them herself. Your little hobby needs to go. This is our community now. I damn near choked on my coffee, her audacity so strong I could taste it. And for a second I saw Sarah, rolling her eyes in the way she used to whenever someone mistook kindness for weakness. See, this lake wasn't just water to me. It was therapy, sanctuary, my connection to Sarah. My grandfather bought the land back in the 50s, before any of these glass and steel estates existed. After I sold my business, I poured everything into making this place a home, kept the cabin, bought up old lots as they came for sale, kept to myself. But progress has a way of catching up with you, right? 24 McMansions popped up like mushrooms after rain, full of tech millionaires and retirees who wanted lakefront living but forgot someone was already living it. Veronica, fresh out of California, decided her first act as HOA president was to clean up unsightly elements, which apparently meant me and my boat. She came armed with binders thick as Bibles, page after page of rules, no boats over 25 feet, only pastel dock colors, fishing hours set by committee. Times change, Mr. Stone. We have standards now. She says this like she's Moses bringing down commandments, binders slamming on my table with the weight of years of entitlement behind it. You know what I mean? But what she didn't know, what none of them bothered to check, was buried in my grandfather's old deeds. I spent 2 days after her visit digging through every box, every yellowed paper in the county archive, sneezing from the dust and half laughing at how these city folks thought a legal letterhead would scare me. What I found, though, made my hands shake. Survey lines that ran 200 feet further into the lake than I'd realized. Mineral and water rights that never left my family, not even when the government paid my granddad 12 grand to flood the valley and build the lake. It wasn't just my dock. It was the whole damn lakebed, in perpetuity. Meanwhile, Veronica wasn't slowing down. She got the HOA behind her with glossy pamphlets, stock photos of oil-covered ducks. Never mind they weren't from here, claiming my boat was leaking fuel, polluting the water, scaring the wildlife. She got 18 of the 24 homeowners to sign her petition. Fear, turns out, works better than facts. Next thing I know, the local paper's running Lake Community Battles Boat Blight. No one calling for my side. Buck Martinez at the marina warns me they're asking about my insurance, trying to pressure him to refuse me service. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, HOA style. Then, one morning, I find my dock lines loosened and Sarah's dream, my Catalina, grounded in the shallows, hull scraped, fuel tank slashed just enough to leak a rainbow sheen on the water. EPA inspector shows up, and I show him the cut line. Looks like sabotage to me, Mr. Stone, but I gotta write the report. Veronica, across the water, is leading a meeting about public safety barriers, her voice echoing across the lake like a bad PA system. Public launch, on my property. Contractors hammering in fence posts, yellow hazard signs flapping in the wind. It was all theater, but the audience was eating it up. I'd learned in my consulting days that the truth, backed by paper, beats any PR campaign. So I filed a Freedom of Information Act request, got my hands on HOA emails. Veronica had already promised the county that my problem would be gone as part of their development approval. She'd written checks her mouth couldn't cash. Even young Tommy next door, whose mom told him not to talk to me, biked over to say, "I think your boat's cool." Out of the mouths of babes, right? By then, things were escalating. Hazard signs, orange cones, even my insurance company getting anonymous tips. My credit cards started getting flagged, deliveries lost, local businesses suddenly out of whatever I needed. Social warfare, small-town style. It wasn't just about moving the boat anymore. They wanted me gone. But Sarah always said, the moment you stop standing up for what's right is the moment you stop being who you are. So I kept digging. What I found next was a twist I didn't see coming. Turns out, when the government built Crystal Lake in '54, they paid my grandfather for temporary flooding rights. Not the land, not the water, everything. The mineral rights, the lake bed, the fish, the navigation authority, reverted to the Stone family, forever, after the dam was finished. That included the spot under every single million-dollar dock around the lake. For 68 years, my family had been the quiet landlords nobody bothered to check on. But the harassment only got worse. Wellness checks from the sheriff. Someone claimed I was acting erratically, making threats. The local building inspector, old Jerry Kowalski, spent 4 hours searching for code violations, found nothing. Then came the smear campaign. Photos of Sarah from her worst days scattered across my living room after a break-in. They wanted me broken, humiliated, isolated. But what they actually did was galvanize everyone they'd wronged. That week, Margaret, the HOA treasurer, knocked on my door, hands shaking. She'd been quietly documenting all the illegal expenditures, $60,000 in community money spent on lawyers, social media hit jobs, even bribes to local contractors. I can't sleep anymore, Mr. Stone. This isn't right. Buck Martinez had files of threatening letters and phone calls, years of attempts to push him out. Even a few families who'd signed the petition sent apologies, saying fear, not conviction, made them side with Veronica. So I got smart. Partnered with Rebecca, a water rights attorney whose laugh could cut steel, and Marcus, an environmental lawyer who lived for taking down bullies. Together we built a 3-phase plan. 1. Establish my rights without tipping my hand. 2. Document every violation and every crime. 3. Offer a reasonable settlement. My rights respected, but the community kept their access if they played by the rules. And all the while, I kept collecting evidence, security footage, emails, bank records. But then came the moment of no return. Someone spray-painted polluter across my garage, dumped motor oil on my shoreline. An environmental disaster stage for the news cameras. EPA came back, and this time, I had video of 3 people in dark clothes doing the deed. The agent's face was stone as she said, "Mr. Stone, we're recommending federal charges for environmental vandalism against whoever did this." The very people shouting, "Protect the lake," were poisoning it to frame me. Then, the final confrontation, town hall meeting, news crews, neighbors packed wall to wall. Veronica makes her speech, PowerPoints and all, painting me as the villain. I stand, folder in hand, heart thumping. Who owns Crystal Lake? I ask. Silence. I hold up the original federal contract, grandfather's name, water rights in perpetuity. The EPA agent stands, confirms it. Rebecca, my attorney, details the violations. Veronica goes pale. Her lawyer tries to protest, but it's over. Sheriff's Deputy Martinez stands. Veronica Hartwell, you're under arrest for criminal trespass, environmental vandalism, filing false reports. The room erupts, some in relief, some in shock. But I'm not there for revenge. I announced the Crystal Lake Conservation Trust. $50,000 of my own money for environmental protection, education, continued community access, but under a legal framework that respects everyone. As Veronica's led away, I feel, finally, peace. Justice, not just for me, but for the whole community. 3 months later, the HOA is gone, replaced by a transparent neighborhood association. Margaret's the new president, sunshine laws, open books. My daughter moves back to help run the Conservation Trust. Buck's Marina thrives, and Tommy's learning boat maintenance with a grin that reminds me why I fought. Even some former enemies come around, helping with cleanups, making amends. The boat they tried to ban is now a floating classroom, the pride of the lake. And me? I'm just a guy with coffee on his dock, grateful for peace, teaching others how to stand up to bullies, knowing Sarah would be proud. So, here's my challenge to you. Share your own HOA war stories in the comments. What's justice look like where you live? Who really owns your peace of mind? Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's building something better from the ashes and inviting everyone to the dock to watch the sunrise together.